it's Ryan. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Arts for the Masses. The arts are alive in Massachusetts. I'm just the lucky guy who gets to bring them to you. Today, I'm really excited. It's a very special episode for me because I have my dear friend, one of Boston's favorite actors with me, Paul Melendy. He is an Elliot Norton Award winner for outstanding solo performance in The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Maybe you've seen him as the Patriots militiaman on those Plymouth Rock insurance commercials, or even spotted him in HBO Max's Julia. Paul has built an impressive career across theater, television, and film, with credits at the Huntington Theater Company, Greater Boston Stage Company, and beyond. Please welcome my dear friend, Paul Melendy.
Hi. Hi,
Hi,
Ryan.
Paul. Thanks for joining me
Oh,
this morning.
what an intro. Well, what else can be said? We're done.
That's it. So nice meeting you. Now we're going to transition into the talent show portion, and Paul's going to be performing a really special piece that he's been working.
I was
uh,
ready for the swimsuit competition.
oh, well, I think our
Let's
audience is ready for that too. Let's
yeah,
go full
let's do
screen
it.
for that. No, but no, thank you so much for joining me. Paul and we got to work together a few times, many moons ago at Barnstormers
Too long
Theater.
ago.
Too long ago. We need to collaborate again at some
Yeah.
point. And
Yes.
you know, I'm a fan. I'm a fanboy, and it's just been, we've both ended up in Massachusetts. I think you've always been in Massachusetts,
Yeah.
if I'm right.
I
But
haven't left. Yeah.
yeah, but now that I'm here and I've just had so many opportunities to see you perform over the years and doing the video work that I do, I've been archiving your career as well, which has been a real treat for me also. But I just wanted to give people an opportunity. Maybe they've seen you on stage or in a commercial, and give people a little chance to know Paul and see what you're all about. And your website it's a really nice website, by the way. You
Thank
have
you.
this
I had nothing to do with it.
no.
That is my wife, Megan. She did everything herself. I think she recently redid it like in the past couple of years. She's the architect and designer and editor. So all credit goes to her, not me.
All credit to Megan.
I'm a
But
Luddite, so yeah.
on the website it says, in the About You section that it all started when you were 10 years old in a Boy Scout sketch. So tell me about this moment, I suppose, when when you said, "This is for me. I gotta be on
Oh my God.
stage."
Well, I'm sure you've had a similar moment that moment where you get bit, whatever that is, you know.
Yeah.
And I think I always wanted to be on stage, and that was in elementary school, so I was very young, and we had other similar opportunities in school where basically your audition was everyone sits, in the cafetorium, and like, okay, and here are the roles, and you just sort of raise your hands if you want to play them, and if you get picked, great. If you don't, then that's your fate. I always just wanted to be picked, and I never got that opportunity. But then when we had this night, I think it was Cub Scouts or Webelos or whatever, one of those in between things. It was a night of sketches, and there was one where I finally got to do one. And it was my good friend Scott. I remember it was a sketch where I was I was his head, right? And he was sitting in back of me and below me, underneath. You couldn't see him at all, and he was the hands, right?
Oh, classic, classic.
Yeah, that old classic bit. Maybe on Whose Lines Is It Anyway? You know what I mean? And I was the legs, so it was just like this enormous head and these little hands and these legs, and I was controlling the legs, and he was doing like brushing my teeth and I don't know what feeding me or something. I can't even actually remember all the details. All I remember was the laughter and the appreciation, and it was like something just clicked. And I knew I had always wanted to do it, but I didn't know what it would feel like. And it was like the highlight of the night too. I remember, there was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 sketches, but this one sent people. And afterward, it was everything anyone was talking about. And I just remember I was so thirsty for that moment that I really went for it. And like, I was like fully in on this character, whatever it was. And I think that my fate was sort of sealed at that point. I was like, there was no turning back at 10 years old, which is
Right, right.
ridiculous.
And so I'm assuming you continued to do high school and theater, and then you in theater in high school, and
Yeah.
then you went to Salem State. Is
Mhm.
that right? So was that
First,
a drama
yeah,
program, or what was it?
that was a BFA program. First, I actually went to 3 colleges, but first I went to UMass Lowell for about a year and did no theater. And then I went to Northern Essex Community College for a year and a half and started doing theater there, doing my first taste of a straight play, like a non-Shakespeare, non-musical play, and that was amazing and sort of changed and opened my eyes and horizons and stretched me a bit. And then I was like, okay, I'm ready to do a more focused, serious program. And my professor at Northern Essex was like, well, you can get no better locally, do no better than Salem State, which was a college back then, not a university. Now it's a university. And they had a great BFA program, which they took very seriously and was very focused on performance with different professors. And you had a jury every semester to stay in the major, and we had American College Theater Festival every year, which was very intense. And that's a big competition, pretty much.
I think you might be happy to know that almost all of those colleges have done away with cut programs at this point.
They
Like
have,
when I went to Boston Conservatory, there was no guarantee that you would be able to do your full 4 years there. I think it was your sophomore year you had to essentially jury,
yeah,
but it was a re-audition, and there was
yeah,
no guarantee you'd be able to complete your 4 year
right.
BFA program. And my understanding now is that all of those cut programs
It's gone.
are done away with because
Yeah,
you're taking such a risk to pursue the arts in general, and then to not have a guarantee that your
yeah,
credits are even going to transfer to another school is
yeah.
ridiculous. Was it a hard conversation convincing your parents that you wanted to pursue this? I know it was tricky for me. It was,
Was
you
it?
know, yeah, well, parents are parents, and
Hmm.
and I was the first one in my family to go to college, and so the fact that I was going to go to college, that was decided on. Um, but then the fact that I was like, and I'm going for
Also,
liberal arts, and the logic behind that was something that they really had a hard time
mm,
understanding. But now it's just so much more clear to me and to them that a liberal arts education is not it doesn't mean that that is all you can do. And it's opened
yeah.
up so many doors for me and my sister and so many classmates as well to go into so many different fields. So
Mm.
I will never tell a student not to pursue something that they are dreaming about doing.
Yeah, they feel
Um,
passionate about. Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, in college, you learn all of these specific techniques and tools, the Stanislavski of it all, the Meisner, and as you continue to work and be a working actor, I'm just curious if you still hang on to any of those tools that that you learned in school. Do you still refer to any of those ways of notating a script, or what has been
Mm-mm.
instilled in you that you still carry with you?
I think for me, the biggest thing that's carried with me is not so much a method as just the amount of experience that I that I was exposed to in my 10 years at school, I was just constantly saying yes and taking it very seriously. Um, whether it was a class where I needed to perform and come up with, uh, a character or a scene and really think about what I'm doing in it and create. Of course, I take little things from each professor, things that the notation in the scripts and the little shorthand things you put in there, and the method of whatever memorization or character study. But it is really the experience that has pushed me, because that built confidence in me, and that is like really one of the most important tools you can have in your toolkit, is to just that feeling of I belong here, I I should be doing this, I'm good at this, and I'm capable and I'm worthy. That's so tantamount to success in this business, is being able to walk in the room and feeling like you belong in the room. Um, yeah,
What
especially
what
after you land a role.
yeah, what do you do when doubt creeps in, which is inevitable? It's a business
Yeah,
of rejection. What how do you cope with
yeah,
that?
it's hard. I mean, and it doesn't, especially when you want it and it doesn't go your way. That doesn't feel good. It
No, it
doesn't
never
feel great,
does.
and it never gets old. It never gets any easier. But you just sort of have to know that something will come along, if you can stick with it. You know, some other opportunity will come your way, which will then domino into another opportunity, probably. And it's about staying focused for when that opportunity comes, where you're given a chance to either say yes to a part or audition for something. Just keeping yourself in it, you know, because
Yeah.
yeah, the doubt will creep in during those lows, and that's the hard pill to swallow.
Let's talk about a performance where you were just the perfect match, and that is Legend of Sleepy Hollow at Greater Boston Stage Company. And my understanding is that this was your first go at a one-man show.
Yeah, first and maybe last. No, I don't. No, I
It was a
actually.
beast. Watching you do it,
Yeah,
it was an exercise. It was an exercise in everything you could possibly do physically and vocally, and it was truly astonishing, Paul. It
thanks,
it
Brandon.
was be- it was a show that managed to tell this classic story with such a fresh life, and the way
Hmm.
you embodied all of these different characters was absolutely magnificent, not only as a scary story, but
Yeah,
bringing your comedic chops to the role as well, and your physicality, which is always something to marvel at, how you embody a character with those long limbs of yours.
and perfect for Ichabod Crane.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, just the memorization of it, because that is months of daily, consistent work before you step into the rehearsal room, of which I did not want to be uh, lost day one of rehearsal. I wanted to be like able to get up on my feet, in which I did. I remember we did the table read first day, and Waylon was like, "Are you ready to get up on your feet?" And I was like, "Let's do
No,
this." And he was like,
no
"Whoa,
time.
whoa, whoa,
Yeah, we only have 3 weeks here. 2 weeks,
whoa!"
a few
Right?
weeks. There's no time for
That's it.
table work. We gotta we
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
do
yeah,
this.
yeah. Exactly. And yeah, and we like finished blocking the show after like the third day. The whole show. And he was like, Paul Melendy. I remember what, Waylon. And he was like, I've never seen him so happy, confident before with the show in my life. And I've done
And
many shows with
we're
him.
talking about Waylon Symes,
Sorry.
who is the
Yes.
director and the artistic director of Greater Boston Stage Company.
Yeah.
And working on this show was also the author was John Minigan, correct? And
John.
you had worked with him before, am I correct?
Yeah, a couple of times with John before, actually. I first met him doing a 10-minute show of his called The Maltese Walter, which is a comedic 10-minute noir where this guy named Walter, and he's in a psychologist's office with his girlfriend or wife or partner, and it's a whole noir show where he stops and does a whole noir monologue right to the audience. That's like his superpower. He can turn any moment into a noir moment. And afterwards, I told him, I was like, this is so good. You should try to do a full-length play, which he did, called Noir Hamlet. And we did that, a run in Boston. And then we took that to the Fringe Festival in Scotland in 2019 for a couple of weeks. And that was just an incredible experience. And we had too much fun doing it. And then we just kept talking. And finally, during the pandemic, I was like, you know what? Have you ever thought about Sleepy Hollow at all? I just really wanted to play Gabad Crane at some point in my life because I was like, that is like in my DNA for some reason. Like it just is me. And he was like, no, I haven't really thought about that. And then a week later, he's like, so I started thinking about that. And
Yeah.
he found a way in, started writing in. A month later, I was like, I think I texted Elise Robbins, who was working at the theater at the time, and said, hey, I don't know what your season is going to be looking like here, but do you have any idea? Any like here's a pitch, and at that point it wasn't a one-man show.
Oh no.
No, and it was just like a concept. He hadn't even started like really writing it yet. And I was like, John's working on this. And Elise was like, let me talk to Waylon because they were like in a meeting or something at that exact moment. And he was like interested. And then John came back and said, oh, by the way, it's a one-man show. And I was like, oh, I wasn't asking for that. That's terrifying. And Waylon liked that idea. Everyone liked that idea. And John had to start writing, and give him a little pitch, and then, and then 4 months later, he had a first draft, and bingo bango.
So you did take home the Elliot Norton Award that year for the one-man show, and I'm just curious, like, I see you thrive in ensemble pieces as well. So what was the difference approaching this one-man show versus your typical ensemble work? How did you prepare for that challenge, and what was it like? It's like acting is reacting,
Yeah,
and then when you have no scene
right.
partner, it's a lot of imagination. It's a lot of waiting for nothing. And
Yeah, I know it kind of breaks your brain a little bit because you don't have time to think. So you just have to know it in your bones. You got to know the words in your bones, who you are at every given moment, physically, emotionally, besides the words, you just have to know these characters inside and out. And that John is such a brilliant writer that he does imbue every character with a different flavor. And as I started working on it on my own, just, throwing the words around in my mouth and just seeing where they took me, where these characters lived tonally, was so much fun. But I start there. I think I start with the words and what they feel like, and if the accent or whatever tone makes sense with the words I'm saying, if they come easily, I think I start there, and if they do, then I continue down the path and keep with that choice. And working with Barnstormers, you have a week and a half to put up a show.
You make a choice, and that's probably your final choice that makes it into
you
the
don't have
performance.
time.
Oh, I made a
Correct.
choice. I'm so proud. I made a choice today. I made a
I did it.
choice. I did it.
No, it's
I
not.
did it.
Yeah, it's not just I made a choice. I made the choice
I made all the
because
choices.
yeah, you don't have time to make any others. Like
No.
if you make a choice, that's it. You got to just keep going with that
Yeah.
because there's no time to talk about it, the choices.
No.
But with Sleepy Hollow, I had like 3 months to like sit and figure out who these characters were, which is a gift, which is a huge
Yes.
gift. Obviously, it's unpaid, but I devoted it because I devoted attention to it because I was like, okay, this is happening, and the fear of failure in such an endeavor was so palpable with me that it had to be everything. There was no way I was not going to make this everything it needs to be, like the best it could possibly be, whatever that is in my head. I was so like, if I don't feel good about this, I will have failed personally, and that was so strong because I knew I had been given such a amazing opportunity and shot to do this, and it might be my only one.
Right.
Because if I fail this one, there is no other shot, really. There was so much kind of riding on it for me personally that I just threw myself into it, so like very hard, which
Paid off.
paid off. And that
Well, not
is a
just from the public perspective of it, from the
yeah,
reviews and whatever,
whatever.
but
Yeah,
the personal fulfillment.
yeah,
You owned it, and the
yeah,
confidence was just radiating there. That you know the best performances are the ones where you don't question what's happening on stage, where you don't
no,
have to wonder what's happening with the art, and oh, do
yeah.
what's coming next, and do they know what's happening?
Do
It
they understand what
did
even I'm
no
trying to get
there was
across here? Like
yeah,
that was the big fear. Can they see it?
right.
And that's the big job, obviously, one person show where you're traveling through characters and spaces, but that the technical wizards, the Corey and Katie and Waylon, these are the people that's their job really, is to sort of tone that and craft that. Mine is to color it with character, and I knew my role in that, and so coming up with different voices and very specific characters for how many of them there were was really important and fun
Yeah.
to do. It was scary but fun, and when you do it, it's like the amount of confidence you feel in yourself is like you can't put a price on that. There's nothing harder after that. If that's what it feels like. Everything else is just not as hard, not as scary.
No.
It's a great feeling for an actor, and like you know, it, I encourage anyone who's wondering if they could do that to just try,
Just try.
and then
Um,
afterward,
y-
yeah,
Now, of course, Ichabod Crane was, known for having some bird-like physicality, and
yeah.
recently you've played
Oh,
there's Feather Baby, which was it was a New England premiere, what or
yeah. Well,
it
yeah, it was a New England premiere.
yeah, it was a co-premiere
Yeah.
with another company doing it simultaneously almost.
Yep. In California. Yeah.
And even looking at the photos of this other company, completely different
Very
looks
different.
and feels of the production. And
Yep.
this was another opportunity you had to essentially originate a role that hadn't been really performed by someone else before. And
Yeah.
do you like originating roles, or would you prefer to have someone or the idea of an actor who's played a role before to model something after? What's
Yeah.
your thought there?
There's nothing more freeing than creating a role. I think it's just you're, it's the Wild West, and the choices you make are your own, and the audiences don't. I mean, with a show like this, they may have expectations of what this could be. Like, oh, he's gonna be squawking like a parrot. Like some people ask me, like, are you just gonna be squawking the whole time? Yeah, and I'm like, nah, no.
No, no.
Then it's very different. I talk a lot, I swear a lot. But I think creating a role is so much fun. Um, it's it's the best. I love it so much, and I've been very fortunate to do a lot of these. With John especially too. But with the playwright came and he was. It's always great to meet playwrights, especially when they haven't seen their works put up,
Yeah.
or maybe they have, but they haven't seen it with such good production values as this. Because this, I mean, this set, Katie's set, is just like just beautiful,
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
gorgeous, always. And she did Sleepy Hollow as well. Um, and of course, Deirdre's costume was like so wonderful and colorful. Um, but I think, yeah, I don't. Do you have pictures from the other production?
I have some. No, I don't. No,
No,
I do
no, no.
not.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
No.
okay.
But
Yeah.
let's do some more. Let's do some little rapid fire. I'll show some images, and I'm not sure what some of these are. So
Okay.
just tell me what it was, and give me
Wait, remember?
Your impression. Well, they're from your website. I hope you remember.
Oh yeah, that was Mr. Burns, a post-electric play. Do you know that one?
No, but it's something to do with The Simpsons, right? But maybe not
Yes.
legally.
Yeah. That's a good question. I think it has to be legally. But this is a great show. It's a three-act show. It's a beast, another beast, where every act is very different and jumps in time. So it starts. Um, it's post-apocalyptic, so all the electricity in the world is gone, dead. And the first act is they're all around a campfire, these people, and they're talking about a Simpsons. They're trying to remember one episode of The Simpsons, right?
Okay.
And that's pretty much the whole thing. And then they're weaving in like how the world got to be where it is, and it's like the power plant's going down, and it's kind of dark and scary. And then the second act is they jump forward in time, like I don't know, 10 years or something. And we're in society where theater troupes have dominated the roles of entertainment and sort of community. They put on episodes of The Simpsons, and you get paid by remembering lines of it, and then having them install those lines in the show. And then they also do like commercials,
Oh,
you
that's
know.
hysterical.
So it's like people go in droves to watch these things because it's all they have. And then the third act jumps, I think, like I don't know, 100, 200, 300 years or something like into the future. And that's where this picture is from. It's turned into this like operetta that's very like bizarro, like it's Simpsons characters, but they don't sound or even look the same. And the characters are kind of blending into each other.
If if something like that were to happen today, and we were reliant on reliving movies and TV episodes, what would be
Oh,
what is your guilty pleasure? What is the movie or TV show you could recite by heart?
I mean, Simpsons, like 100%. Like I
You are
grew
a
up on
Simpsons
that.
fan. Okay.
Oh my God. I mean, that's why I wanted to do this show. Um, yeah. I used to watch it every night, twice a night growing up.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next? This one's recent.
Yeah, this is the Garbologist. I did that up on Gloucester Stage Company this past July. It's a two-hander. Um, these are two New York sanitation workers, and I'm an old guard. Been doing the job for decades. And she, that's Tamika Marie Birdwell. Her character, I'm training her. She's like, this is her first week, 2 weeks, whatever. And first we clash, and then we become like besties. It's very heartwarming, very, very intense, very tragic at times, very funny. Just a real. I was so thankful to do the show, and we did a reading of it year before, and it went so well that the board was like, "You have to put this in the season," and she was like, "Well, okay."
Was that another new work? Was that a premiere?
No, it was a
No.
New England premiere, but it was
Okay.
not a new work. It's been in circulation for a few years. Playwright Lindsay Joel wrote it. She's in New York, and it's being done a lot now everywhere. But New England premiere, just a really great show. That allowed show. Oh shit! Look at
What's
this.
this? What's this old show? What's this old
Why
creaker?
don't, why don't you tell me about this show?
Was this the first time we worked together at Barnstormers?
Yeah.
This is Boeing Boeing. Um,
Yeah.
we had a blast.
Oh my god.
I don't know if you can do this show anymore. Some of
I,
these raunchy sex comedies, you really, I don't know. People are still doing it. Um,
they are still
we
doing
had
that show.
we had a blast with it.
Oh my god.
I
We had
just
so much fun. And I
yeah.
remembered I want to hear what you remember, but I just remember.
I remember a particular scene where an actress came in. It's a farce, so five doors
Yeah.
or whatever on stage, and she came in far too early, and I remember just in a panic of summer stock fever, I pushed her back in the door and I said, "Come back in 5 pages." Was what I remember. And do you remember what's something with hand puppets or what?
Yeah, she wasn't budging.
No,
She
no,
wasn't
she was not. She wanted
understanding.
to deliver every line. She was
She's
ready.
like, I'm here.
I'm here. Let's.
I'm on stage. I'm gonna say these lines. And she was
It
like
was a
so
farce. It was a
confused.
farce on top of a farce. It was our version
It
of
was like the
noises
play that
off.
goes wrong.
Yes.
And I remember I was like, look, shadow puppets. Because I was like, look over there, because like she couldn't see the other woman. She wasn't allowed to see the other woman yet.
No.
And I was like doing this, and you started joining in, and then somehow she got it and like left, and then came back like pretty soon after that to do her real entrance.
What was fun? What's fun in summer stock is that once the show opens, it's
Yeah,
not like it's set like when you're doing a regional production. It's like, oh, we're still allowed to continue to grow into these roles now that we're
yeah,
on stage and now
yeah.
that we are maybe we know all of our lines by the final performance and
Maybe.
seeing some of your choices grow. I remember there was a coffee table and then at some
Hmm.
point you decided to step over it instead
Hmm.
of walking around it, and it became this Dick Van Dyke
Hmm.
extravaganza of physicality that I'd never seen in that particular role before. It just brought things to a whole different level, and it made it our production. It wasn't any version of Boeing Boeing that had
Yeah.
existed before or since then,
Wow.
because and that's any show. You bring something,
Sure.
you got to bring you to it, and
Yeah.
they put you and I in these roles for a reason, and we're gonna do us, and that's what
Yep.
makes it special, and that's what makes it theater, you know?
I'm gonna do it how I see it, how I feel it, and I love taking like the straight man role and kind of twisting him a little bit and making him a bit goofy
Yeah,
and seeing but still trying to fit that mold of, oh, you are attractive and charming or magnetic in a way that attract several women at the same time, but also making them kind of like bumbly or whatever. And I think once shenanigans started going, it became more physical like that. And I think that table moment is pretty much at the end of the show where chaos is
We've all reached a
fully
peak of chaos, so anything goes at
correct.
that point.
And I remember looking at you one night where we were like conspiring or like, and like you just looked at me and you went, okay, like we both are doing this. And I was like, your face is so funny. And we were locked into whatever moment we had just discovered just then. And I burst out laughing. It was so real. And then you started laughing because you're like, yeah, this is too funny. It's too funny not to laugh. And the audience was right there with us. And I don't know, it's one of those moments that I will not forget. It was just genuinely fun. It was like we were in this, I think it might have been the same night that she came out. We were just like, what is happening? We were locked into, this is crazy what's going on the stage right now. You and I are trying to keep this boat afloat. It was like a release.
Do you ever find it difficult to? I always find that sometimes that the moments between the lines ends up telling so much more of an important story, or can add so much to the story, and that it can become a difficult time. That's why I need a good director all the time to either rein me in or push me in a different direction, because at a certain point, sometimes the lines become secondary to the physicality for me, and maybe even for you too. It's finding that balance of, okay, well, now the bits that I love so much, are they taking away from the script or not? But then that's not my job to figure out. I brought the bits to the table. You tell me what you want. Do you ever say, oh, am I doing too much? Right? You ever feel that sensation, or
a lot.
do you try to self moderate and regulate? Or
I think you've got to bring the bits, you got to bring everything, right? And a good director will taper that and say, this is too distracting right now, this is too much right now, or more, please.
Yes.
This is working,
but I just think your taste level is very perceptive, and you do bring an awareness that isn't, sometimes you can see an actor living for the bits and it becomes
right.
It can become selfish, and it's never that with you, which which is appreciated as an audience member and as a collaborator as well.
I thank you, and that is something that I have worked on my whole life, and I'm sure that when I first started out, I was not thinking about what is this in service to. Is this helping the other actors maybe talking right now? Maybe that's like, in college or a little bit later as you're first starting to find your sea legs and start working professionally. Certainly in high school, I was not thinking about that, but I think that's something that as you mature, you work more, the more experience you get, the more you understand what is in service of the moment and the story here. And are you stepping on somebody else's bit? And those bits are important because you need variety, you need flavor, and it like if it's a funny bit for them, like that's good for us all. But reacting to everything in a way that makes sense is very important. You say the stuff between the lines, like it's not always just about the bits, but it's about the reaction to the whatever's happening or what something has just been said. I'm doing I don't know if I should talk about what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, what are you doing right now?
Right now I'm doing a play called The Sherlock Carol, and I'm playing Sherlock Holmes, and it is not a farce. It is very much a Sherlock Christmas Carol mashup. Uh, there are very, very funny moments, and it's a very cute show, and there's a lot of humor in it, as there is in Christmas Carol. But it is, Sherlock's going through a lot, digging up ghosts of his past and dealing with that, trying to reform. And the playwright came yesterday, and he said a lot of people try to make it into a farce, and that is not what the show is. And so, my director, Elise Robbins, as it's like first day she was like, don't lean into the comedy. You're a very funny guy, but try to hold back and really find the truth of the character, and this as opposed to pushing the comedy. And I understood the task, and reading it, I don't see it as that anyway. But like she's like, by the end of the process, she's like, I really appreciate you just really taking this seriously, and not pushing that the stuff that people expect you sometimes to do on stage.
Right.
So there's a lot of that. You could go full Boeing on
Right.
this if you wanted, and make a bit out of everybody's reaction, or like I don't know, whatever. But staying true to Sherlock in this way has been something Elise has been very appreciative of. Oh, there it is, right there.
No, this is something else. Oh no, is it? What is this?
Yeah,
Is
this is a Sherlock Carol.
Oh, for a second I thought it was the other Sherlock Holmes and
Oh,
Watson that
Miss
that
Holmes.
you Miss Holmes Returns.
Yeah. No, that I played the other side of the coin. James Moriarty
Yes.
in the Sherlock Carol. James Moriarty has died 3 years prior, and he's dealing
Oh.
with the loss of that and seeing him everywhere. Ghosts of him, maybe it might all be in
Oh.
his head, but he's going through. He's having a breakdown.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this photo is from the current production of
Hmm.
Sherlock Carol.
Yep.
Nice. This is the play that goes wrong and you're
Now
sporting a very dapper
look at
mustache
that.
here.
Look at that thing. Yeah, this was my idea, by the way. I was like, I should have a big Kenneth Branagh, you know, um, uh, uh, on a train. What is that? What is that? Agatha Christie, Oriental.
Orient Orient Express, Murder on the Orient Express? Yeah.
You've seen his
Yes,
mustache. I
yes.
mean, it is it's a heavy duty thing, and I was like, let's cut it in the middle, right? And the one side just kept falling off, and I just have to keep going, and then I think for Act 2 it fully comes off, and then I just drew like
Yes, you had it drawn on. I don't think I
as
have a
if no
photo.
one would notice.
No.
So this is the other side of it. This is full farce.
Yes.
And then still trying to find the truth of this character, which is he's the director of this troupe, trying to keep everything together. He's also the inspector of the show within the show. That's just completely falling apart around him. But he's still trying to remain true to the character while also his other role as director, like try to keep the ship upright.
Now, this was an example for me of a show that I'd seen many times. I saw the original production,
You
and
did.
and there's so many bits that are very specific, and they're scripted, and it's right
Yeah.
there. And you can easily go into a show or work on a show and sort of be expected to just replicate what's been done before. But
Hmm.
even hearing what you were saying, your contribution to this mustache bit, and so many other things that were happening in the show that I had not seen previously, is what made this production special. This is my last photo that I have. What's this festive Christmas romp?
This is a bit of it's kind of like fan fiction. This is a Lauren Gunderson play that is set in the world of Pride and Prejudice. So this is the Wickham's Christmas at Pemberley, which is about you have upstairs, downstairs in uh, Mr. Darcy's manor estate, and it's about the downstairs people and about my character and his relationship with everybody in the show, including James Darcy. Yes, that's his name. Um,
I don't know. I don't.
Mr.
That,
Darcy.
that that's not my fanfic to
No,
read. No.
this is it's Megan's fanfic of my wife. She's obsessed with
No,
Austen.
if it was Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights, those are
Mm,
my go-tos. But the Pride and
okay,
Prejudice of it all is not where I live. But looks like
okay.
a
But
fun show. Looks cute.
it was a fun show. Yeah, very, very fun, very festive. That was at Merrimack Rep. We had such fun with the cast and working on this play. And I love doing a show during the holidays. There's just something fun about that every day. Being in that world where um, there's a lot of hope and I don't know. It's just it just feels the time of year just feels good.
Yeah.
And I love being around
I
people
love
during
doing a
it.
holiday show and just praying no one gets sick. But I do like
Yeah,
participating in like the secret Santas of it all.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the
yeah,
I
yeah.
did the Radio City Christmas Spectacular on tour for a
I
few
know.
years, and seeing these Rockettes get up to shenanigans was just hysterical to me.
Oh my
Like
God.
watching five Rockettes sneak a live Christmas tree into a Homewood Suites. There's nothing cuter in the world.
I
Or it was
know.
like the one of the Hunger Games movies was coming out, and we bought out the theater on one of our nights off, and I'm telling you, a whole line of 18 Rockettes were there with their hair done in the Katniss braids or whatever, and it's just like
No.
this is
Oh,
and they're all like standing at the movie theater, like beveled, and like they're about to do a kick line, posing as in their Katniss hairstyles. Just a blast, just great memories doing shows around the
how
holidays.
many times did you do that show?
2 years,
Mm,
good times.
okay. Very good times.
Well, Paul, we're wrapping up on the end of our interview, and I wanted to do sort of
No.
an actor studio James Lipton style question like he does at the end of his interviews.
Oh
And
my God.
so I have some of these. Some of them are I borrowed, and some are my own. And I'm curious to hear what your answers will be. So, what is your favorite word?
Favorite word. I, the, the word that comes to mind, maybe it's just because we just had this season, but spooky.
Spooky.
I just think of something fun about that word.
Yeah. What
Can't
is
say it
your
without a little smile.
What is your least favorite word?
Um, maybe this is too obvious, but a word that's uh heard too much these days is Trump.
Mm,
Don't like hearing that word. I don't like reading it. Um, and I try not to say it. So,
yeah. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
I just love a good movie. I think
Hmm,
I love a movie I'm excited about, and then having it be good. I just love the ritual of it, getting all cozy. I don't always love going to see movies, but I love watching them at home. I got these cool lights that are backlit and my big TV, getting some popcorn, getting cozy. Yeah, my favorite pastime.
what turns you off?
Hmm, what turns me off? I can't think of anything right now that turns me off. what was it? Spiritual? What is it? What was the question? Full question? What turns me
Yeah,
off? What?
or
Artistically?
creatively, spiritually, emotionally,
Not a very spiritual guy, but um,
personally, a quality in someone perhaps that
hmm,
you reject.
hmm. Well, I don't know. Oh, that I don't I have something called misophonia. I
Hmm.
don't know if you know what this is. Do you know what this is?
It's an
Do you know this
auditory.
about me?
No, I
Yeah.
didn't know this about you.
So it's hatred of sound, right? And oh, it's like people are chewing like the sounds of people chewing with their like mouth open. That it's like a fight or flight response type of thing, which
Okay.
can be really hard in a theater if
Yeah.
concessions are being sold and the front row has, um, you know, a bag of popcorn, or they're unrolling like a Werther's or something, just constantly
Yeah.
unrolling a Werther's. Yeah, that kind of
Well, that
puts
brings
me in
me
a
then
place.
to my other questions were what sound or noise do you
Oh,
hate?
oh,
That's
there it is.
there it is. How about what sound or noise do you love?
I love the sound of a shower running. I don't
Hmm,
know what that is. I
yeah.
love being in a home and having somebody in the shower. I don't know what that is. Now we're getting into some weird places here.
Yeah. What would you want to be remembered for that has nothing to do with your achievements?
I've always prided myself in my humor, not just on stage, just like with friends in a room, in a classroom, with family in any given setting, being able to um, lighten the room
It's a
a little
gift.
bit.
It is a gift to
Yeah,
share.
and
Yeah.
it is a gift, and it's like I'm always like, I don't know who I would be if I wasn't like funny or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
If you could master any art form overnight, what would you choose and why?
Okay, well, I don't play an instrument,
Mm,
and that is always in my craw a little bit that I just, as a young child, never took to it.
yeah.
Because you got to really start that when you're young, and so I don't know. I'm in
What
awe
what
of,
what instrument would you pick?
man.
I wish I could play guitar or piano
Yeah, I
really
think
well. I could
that's
play like basic piano, but something I feel like guitar is just like this great portable thing that you
yeah.
can just take to the beach and like jam around the
Hmm.
campfire and
Yeah.
just take any yeah.
Uh, yeah, absolutely, 100%. And and it like could help you maybe with work too. You never know.
Right.
That is certainly a tool that you could apply to a show and have it be an asset, on your resume or whatever.
What lie do you keep telling yourself?
That it's just gonna get easier. Just that's it.
Yeah.
It life work work balance. But as you get older, it's like, more and more stuff gets added into the mix. Stuff you have to
Yeah.
think about. Uh,
Yeah. Like
but
it's getting more expensive
man,
and nothing.
yeah,
No, I don't know. I
more expensive, and they have no control
no
over
control.
it.
No.
Uh, and life is just it gets getting crazier out there.
Yeah. Final question. If heaven exists, I know you said you're not spiritual, but if heaven exists, this is the James
Now we're doing
Lipton question.
hypotheticals here.
It's right from Actors Studio. If heaven
Yep.
exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
What was the? You ever watch SNL?
Yeah.
Like I think it was Charles Nelson Riley. It was Will Ferrell and Alec Baldwin was Charles Nelson Riley, and he was like, "What would you like God to say or something?" And he's like, huh? Or something like that.
Well, on that note, thank you, Paul, for
Wait,
joining
no,
me
I
today.
have an answer.
Oh, that's not it.
I have a real, I
Who are
have a
you?
real
Who
answer.
are you? Huh?
That's not my answer.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Oh, hey, you hungry?
you want to hear that?
Did
Kill it. Go and eat. There's a crock pot. Your name on it. You know. You hungry?
Chili's
yet?
up?
Yeah, chili's up. Thanks for it.
Yeah. Oh, Paul, I miss you. I adore you. I continued best wishes with your run of a Sherlock Carol, and I hope I'll get to see you perform in something sooner than later. There's always an opportunity, you working man.
And always something. Hopefully.
And yeah, and thanks for popping on today.
Thanks for inviting me.
It was my absolute pleasure.
Anytime. This has been a fun trip down memory lane, my friend.
Love it.
I could talk about Boeing for hours.
Oh, that could be its own
Or the
episode.
Barnstormers. Do a
We
whole
should do
episode on the Barnstormers.
We should bring
and
in a
all
few
your-
Barnstormers.
Like, oh yeah, have like, with different guests,
Ooh.
on and just like do a roundtable on the Barnstormers. Yeah,
Oof.
that'd be fun.
Good times.
Juicy. Yeah.
Juicy.
All right.
Juicy. Well, thanks for tuning in to another juicy episode of Arts for the Masses.
Oh yeah, baby.
If you're a Massachusetts arts organization and you'd like to be featured on this show is a little different with my actor interview with Paul Melendy. But if you're a community theater, especially, and you have an upcoming production, I'd love to help you promote it. If you work for another arts organization and you'd like to talk about an upcoming display or a dance performance, opera, and I keep saying I got to get some puppeteers in here, please be in touch. I'm Ryan Malyar, and have a great day.